Oh, the praise be to you. All right. Praise be to Yahuwah. All right. Getting this thing together. Oh, the praise be to you. All right. Praise be to Yahuwah. That's me. That's me. I was going to say to Gabriel, what you can sing, man? I thought it was Gabriel.
I know me, sir.
So should I understand that what you're saying is that you can sing?
No, I was saying Gabriel can sing.
But it was your
but
voice.
I guess,
so you're actually saying you can sing. Okay, we'll take
I guess that's what it's implying. Yeah. Where was I again? Yeah, I did that. Okay. All right, so we're here. Let me get this thing here. Get this thing together. Oh, let us start here on Just a Word Radio. Welcome, Just a Word Radio, as we kick off this morning's teaching, our live broadcast of our Shabbat fellowship. All right. So welcome once again, everyone, as we are here today to look at the question, do you have the testimony of Yahusha? As we look to understand the second book of Second Esdras 15. Okay. So this is Kazak Aliyahu Yasharal here for Just a Word, and we are here every Shabbat, Yahuwah willing. We are here with a teaching, and we thank you for joining us, all right? Our teachings might be a little long, some people say, but they are detailed, and so that you can get everything out of a particular topic, precept upon precept upon precept, line upon line upon line, here a little, and there a little. Yeah? So let us begin. The testimony of Yahusha is a spirit or the ruach of prophecy. All right. So the question is, because if you notice, most of our teachings have been on prophecy. And in this time, in this season of the end, you won't find us doing teachings on things that are hardly doing things on teachings on things that are not related to prophecy. And we have many people in the world are not preoccupied with prophecy. People in this world are just continuing seeking to. What was that? Who was that? Please mute. Yeah. So, yeah. So people in this world are just focused on getting back to normal. If you notice the Christians, that is what they want to say. They want to get back to normal. The pastors are calling them back to church, back to normal, backwards. Yes? And the Apostle Shaul says, we leave everything behind and press towards the mark of the high calling. So if the Christians were following that instruction, they would be pressing forward, seeing that church is now obsolete, right? Because the doors are shut and they have to be struggling, and the government has to be telling you when to open, how many people can go in. You have to be there hand sanitizing, masking up in church. Where is the faith? Where is the power in Jesus' name in church? You have to be masking up, and we hear how many people are catching the disease in church, etc. So if they are pressing forward, they realize that that phase is now over. And they will be looking to prophecy. But they do not look to prophecy. What do they look to? This year is your year. This week I see a great anointing. I see a great overflow. Yes, all of these great, everything to do with prospering in the flesh, in the world. That is all their focus. And when you come to them with prophecy, they run you away. They just want to know. They just want to have an excuse to not have to follow prophecy. So their false teachings have brought them to a point of comfort where they are told that they will be raptured away. Okay, this is what you do. You're just going to be raptured away. You will not be here for the great tribulation. You're not going to be here for the mark of the beast. So that blinds them. And then when you, whose eyes are now open because you follow prophecy, you are obsessed with prophecy, and when you try to tell them they don't want to hear because they're in their comfort zone of protection, rapture, no tribulation. That's all I want to know. Okay? And because of that, by the millions, these people are taking the mark of the beast. Because they are not sold out to prophecy. And the danger of that, it is so dangerous. The manifestation of that is that Christians are not true believers. We know that, but this is another way how you know that they are not true believer. A true believer will be occupied with prophecy. I'm trying to find the word. It's in Second Esdras in Sirach. I'm 39:1, I think. I'm going to get that the term that I want to use. So you are going to be so.
Where's the AirPods?
You're going to be so in tune. Please mute your mics, please, especially the women. Please mute your mics. We've been doing this every single Shabbat. Y'all should know. The first thing, mute your mic. It should not come back on. All right. So, get thrown off with these things. So, the fact that you are not following prophecy, you are not sold out to discover or find out prophecy, it shows that you are not a true believer. As we're going to see the verses, it shows that you are not a true believer. You're wasting your time. This is why we're telling people in that religion, come out. Why do you think year in, year out, we are trying to tell you to come out? Because we know that you're on your way to destruction. You're on your way to destruction. It is a false religion that was given to you by the Gentiles to deceive you and to deceive the world into worshiping their gods and to contradict and go against the Most High. Everything goes against the Most High, and everything is a deception. Down to the rapture. The Bible tells you plainly that after the tribulation, that's when the Messiah will be returned, and you have made them convince you that before the tribulation, the Messiah is going to return and take you away. Lies, deception, everything lies and deception. So if you are focused on this world, going back to this world, going back to the rudiments of this world, going back to normal, quote unquote normal, then you're not of the Most High. You're not of the Messiah. And let's show you. Let's go into scriptures. All right? So why are we preoccupied with prophecy? Preoccupied is the word I was looking at. Why are we preoccupied with prophecy? Why those in just a word? Why is just a word so let me stop this thing here. Come on. Oh, just turn off your mics if you're not using it. Sure. All right. Why is just a word so preoccupied with prophecy? Why is it that almost everything we do is about prophecy? Sirach 39, verse 1. Read, praise Lord.
But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will speak out the wisdom of all the ancient, and be occupied in prophecies.
And will be what?
Occupied in prophecies.
You see this?
Yes.
You see, when you see, as followers of the way, when you see your faith, your belief matching up with every single scripture you can find, you know that you're on the right path, okay? When you find yourself occupied in prophecies, it is because you have given your mind to the law of the Most High. Now, going back to that religion that is all around us in this side of the world, we speak a lot about Christianity because it is all around us, especially around me. The most churches per square mile in the entire world. That's what we have right here in Jamaica. So I have to speak about it. All right, and my family's friends, all in that abominable religion. He says, he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High. Now, if you have not given your mind to the law, if you say the law is done away with, or say part of the law, as the SDAs do, their 10 commandments, you have not given your mind to the law of the Most High. And you're not occupied in the meditation thereof. You cannot be occupied in the meditation of the law if you have not given your mind to the law of the Most High. All right? So if you give your mind to the law and you're occupied in the meditation, you will seek out the wisdom that is in the Torah and seek out the wisdom of all the ancient. And the ancient, of course, would be those who we have records of, which are those who have that which are written in scripture. And so another thing about it is you will not seek out the wisdom of the Bible because the Bible is limited. The Bible only contains 66 of the books of the ancients. The ancients have many more books. So you're not going to restrict yourself because this book here, that's Sirach, it's not in the Bible. Yes? But it is a writing of the ancient. And that is why we at Just a Word here cannot be restricted by your 66 book Bible because we are so zealous because we have given our mind to the law and are occupied in the meditation. Therefore, we are zealous to seek out the wisdom of all the ancient. Not just those ancients that you gave us in the Bible. All the ancient. We want to find out all the wisdom. And here's one coming from another ancient coming from the book of Sirach or the book of Ecclesiasticus. Yes? Book of the wisdom of Yahusha. So we seek out the wisdom of all the ancient, and we are occupied in prophecies. Now, this verse totally is not what the Christian it totally does not relate to Christians. Yeah? Verse 2.
He will keep the signs of the renowned men, and where submit parables are, he will be there also.
Your place is echoing. He will keep the sayings of the renowned men. The renowned men, the ancients. keep their sayings, not just that which is written in the Bible. Keep the sayings of the renowned men. And where subtle parables are, he will be there also. Yeah? Verse 3.
He will seek out the secrets of grave sentences and be conversant in dark parables.
All right, so he'll not be just dumb, just following what pastor says. He will seek out. He will seek out. He'll not just sit and listen to what somebody says. They will seek out the secrets of grave sentences and be conversant in dark parables. So no matter how the scriptures sound difficult, he will try to figure out what it is about. All right? That is how you know that you are in the way. Revelation 19:10, which is the verse that forms the core of what we're doing. Go ahead, Gabriel.
And I fell at his feet to worship him. And he said unto me, see thou do it not. I am their fellow servant, and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahusha. Worship Alua, for the testimony of Yahusha is the spirit of prophecy.
This is the thing we want to look at. The testimony of Yahusha is the spirit of prophecy. Has anybody ever stopped to think what this means? And how important it is? Because this is the reason Christians are not interested in prophecy. They're not interested, most of them, not all of them. Most of them are not interested in following up the end times, but they are more preoccupied. The majority of them, as is manifest today, are more preoccupied with remaining where they are, with going back to normal, than they are in following prophecy. Because they do not have the testimony of Yahusha. For the testimony of Yahusha is the spirit of prophecy. And the testimony of Yahusha is the spirit of prophecy. Does that mean that everyone will have the gift of prophecy? God forbid. Not everyone will have the gift of prophecy, but they will have the ability to understand prophecy. All right? Some will have the gift of prophecy. As let's go to Romaim 12. See what I'm trying to say here. Read from verse 5.
So we being many are one body in Amashiach, and everyone members of one of another. Having then gifts differing according to the splendor, to the grace that is given to us, whether prophecy, let us prophesy according to the proportion of faith.
Verse 7.
Our ministry, let us wait on our ministering, or he that teacheth on teaching.
We don't need to go any further. Having then gifts according to the favor that is given to us. All right? So it is the Most High who decides which gift we are given. Whether prophecy, let us prophesy according to the proportion of faith. So our ministry, let us wait on our ministering. So what this is telling you is that not everyone is given the gift of prophecy. We are given different gifts according to the Most High, according to how he wants to build up his body. Okay? So when it says, let's go back there now. When it says the testimony of Yahusha is the spirit of prophecy, it does not mean that everyone will be a prophet. All right? But the spirit of prophecy will be in them, and they will be probably able to prophesy according to the will of the Most High. but they will also be able to understand prophecy and to be preoccupied with prophecy. So how you do, a true believer who has the spirit of the Messiah? The spirit of true believer is preoccupied with prophecy. He looks forward towards the end, makes preparation for the end, not looking at what is happening today. 1 Corinthians 12, 27 to 30 as well, to reinforce, I think, 1 Corinthians 12, to reinforce this thing about 12, 27, what is it, 27 to 30? Yeah, to reinforce the fact that having the testimony of Yahusha does not mean that everyone will be a prophet, prophesying. 1 Corinthians 12, 28. Read, please.
And Allah had set some in the assembly, first apostles, secondarily prophets, thirdly teachers, after that miracles, then gifts of healings, helps, governments, diversities of tongues.
All right, so we see there, each one of them different gifts. Verse 29 is more profound. Read it, please.
Are all apostles? Are all prophets? Are all teachers? Are all workers of miracles?
All right, so the testimony of Yahusha as a spirit of prophecy does not mean everyone will be what you will call the typical person, a prophet who foresees or foretells events. Just want to reinforce that. All right. Romans 8, verse 9. Very, 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 very important. Let's go there. Read from verse 6.
For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Because the carnal mind is enmity against Allah, for it is not subject to the law of Allah, neither indeed can be. So then, they that are in the flesh cannot please Allah. But ye are not in the flesh, but in the spirit. If so be that the spirit of Allah dwell in you. Now, if any man have not the spirit of Amashiach, he is none of his.
Read that again.
But ye are not in the flesh.
No. What I highlighted.
Okay, sorry. Now, if any man have not the spirit of Messiah, he is none of his.
If any man have not the Ruach Mashiach, he is none of his. All right? That means you don't have the testimony of Yahusha. You have to have the testimony of Yahusha to have his Ruach. And the testimony of Yahusha is what? The testimony of Yahuwah is the spirit of
prophecy.
No, Gabriel, man. I have to fire you, man. You're not. No, Gabriel.
Wait.
You can't be here reading everything over and over. You can't remember that, man. Come on, man. Anyway, let me go again. If any man have not the spirit of Messiah, he is none of his. So if you are none of his, you will not have his spirit. And if you don't have his spirit, you cannot have his testimony, which is prophecy, the spirit of prophecy. All right? So Mashiach in you ensures you have the spirit of prophecy. So if a believer is not preoccupied with prophecy, especially in this end time, when all the prophecies are manifesting before us and everything before us is showing us that it is end time. If a believer is not preoccupied with prophecy at this time, then that believer does not have the Ruach Mashiach, does not have the spirit of Messiah, which means he is
none of his.
None of his. So you have a whole world of believers now are on their way to destruction, thinking that they're going to be raptured. A whole bunch of believers have taken the mark of the beast back, thinking that it was sent to them by God, thinking that, oh, this cannot be the mark of the beast. We're doing what we're doing to survive. We have to do what we do to protect ourselves. God sent this to us for our protection, etc. A whole millions of Christians have done this on their way to destruction, not knowing that they do not have his rock. Okay? And this is how you know, and this is how you know the end time believer must have the testimony of Yahusha, which is the spirit of prophecy, because it is a spirit of prophecy that's going to save us. How? By alerting us to what is happening, aligning us with scripture, let us know what is happening. It is a spirit of prophecy that lets us know that this thing is the mark of the beast. We have been telling people this as the mark of the beast. When we started telling people this, it sounded ridiculous. Yeah? Ridiculous. And most of the people, even our group here, were silent with it. I don't think most of the people will share the things, boldly share the things, because I think they were doubting. Yes? But we have been speaking about the mark of the beast now. People are coming to the realization like, wow, 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 wow. Yes? It's the spirit of prophecy that saved us and let us know that, hey, stay away from this thing. And it is the spirit of prophecy that is guiding us what to do. It's telling us to flee to the mountains, etc. All the things that it's telling us. And everyone is looking ridiculous, thinking of us as being ridiculous, as being crazy. Oh, these people are crazy. It's the spirit of prophecy that has always made those who are consumed, preoccupied with it, has always made us be ahead of the game and ahead of the rest of the people. Without the spirit of prophecy, you're going to be lost. Without the testimony of Yahusha, the true testimony of Yahusha, which is the spirit of prophecy, you are going to be lost because you're not going to be got to know where you are. And so if you check out what most of these Christians, if you have access like Christian channels or whatever, look at what a lot of the Christians are talking about. A lot of them are talking about regular things that they always speak about. All right, but the Most High has chosen, and this is the thing, the Most High has chosen people among them whose eyes are awakened. And they are speaking out, a lot of them, on their own channels, all right? But it's not usually an organized thing by the church. It's individuals who the Most High has called out. Out of that, he has given the spirit of prophecy. So they can speak, and the Most High does it opportunistically, because if I am in a body and there are 100 people in the body and nobody in the body is given the spirit of prophecy, then there will be no one to warn them. So he will open up the eyes of one or two or few so that they can warn the rest. Yes? Okay. So this is very profound. Very, very profound. So, the spirit of prophecy, the word of Yahuwah, and the testimony of Yahusha. The spirit of prophecy comes from two places. In the book of Sirach, we saw that those who, let's go back to Sirach 1. Everything always matches up the Messiah with the word of the Most High. So in Sirach 1, it spoke about the law, always the law, which is the word of the Most High, and the Messiah. So let's go and see what I'm talking about. Always match up. Always a match up. Sirach 39:1. He that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High and is occupied in the meditation thereof will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient and be occupied with prophecies. This is the law, the word of the Most High. And then it goes on to tell us in Revelation 19:10 that the testimony of Yahusha is the spirit of prophecy. So what is that saying? The spirit of prophecy is given to those who have the mind for his law and have the testimony or have the faith of his son, as we're going to see in a few. Revelation 1 verse 9, read please.
I, John, who also am your brother and companion in tribulation, and in the kingdom of and patience of Yahusha HaMashiach, was in the isle that is called Patmos, for the word of Allure, and for the testimony of Yahusha.
All right, he's in the isle for the word of Allure. This is the law. And for the testimony of Yahusha HaMashiach and the Messiah, the true believer, the saint, the set apart follower of the way, obeys the word of Allure and have the testimony of Yahusha HaMashiach. And the testimony of Yahusha HaMashiach is the spirit of what? Is the spirit of what?
Prophecy.
Prophecy.
No, Gabriel, I'm going to fire you, Gabriel. I really have to fire you. You have to follow up with the presentation or else it's going to be All right, let's try. El Pedro. Sorry about that, Gabriel. You have to warm up. I'm going to put you back on the bench and you warm up, you know? Just warm up and get ready, because when we're doing this presentation, it has to be interactive and it helps when you are with me. When you kind of lag, it kind of, detracts. So warm up and get ready again. All right, El Pedro. Where am I again?
Brother B.
Yeah.
My volume is very low. I'm struggling to set up my volume here. If Brother Mahar can take it up from here, please, I'd appreciate it, because I hear it very far. I'm trying to set up. I've got a new device here.
But it's loud enough, bro.
You can hear me, but I can hardly. But anyway, let's go. I hear you very, very faint.
Okay,
let's do it.
You want to turn up yours and let us try Mahar in the meantime?
Please, I'm trying to set this one up.
Go, Mahar. I hope your thing holds up. All right, so where was I again? Yes. So, John here, Yahukanan was describing himself as being persecuted for the word of Allah and for the testimony of Yahusha. And the testimony, of course, speaks of the witness of Yahusha, or the record of Yahusha. All right? And so because he has the record of Yahusha, he will have the spirit of prophecy. So the importance of the testimony of Yahusha is that this makes us the set apart ones, the true saints of the Most High. Revelation 6 verse 9. Read, please.
And when he had opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the soul of men that were slain for the word of Allah and for the testimony which they held.
You see that? The word of Allah and the testimony which they held. All right, this is a true believer. You have to follow the word of Allah, which is his laws, his statutes, his commandments, his judgments, and for the testimony which they held, which is the testimony of Yahusha, which is the witness of Yahusha. They bear a record of the life of Yahusha in them. They walked as he walked. They abided in him. That is the testimony, which is the spirit of prophecy. With his ruach in you, then you will be occupied with prophecy. What's the other one? Revelation 14:12, and we know this one by heart. So what are we saying here? A true believer does not only say they believe in the Most High, as that religion says. It is believing in him which leads us into obedience to his Father. Read it, bro. Revelation 14:12.
Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of Allah and the faith of Yahusha.
Hey, they keep the commandments of Allah, and he didn't say or, and it's two of them. 1, 2. Yeah. The faith of your El Pedro will tell you what it means to have the faith of Yahusha. El Pedro, could you tell us what it means to have the faith of Yahusha? Is he hearing us? El Pedro, is he still there?
Let me see.
Let me see if he's still there. All right, he's not there. Is he?
Don't see him.
No, he has done a... No, he's not there.
I think I
All
just
right.
hear him. Or no.
No, he's not here. All right. So, where were we?
12.
And the faith of Yahusha. So, we go to 1 John 2:6. Because those who believe in the Messiah will walk as he walked. 1 John 2:6.
1 John 2:6. He that said he abideth in him ought himself also to walk even as he walked.
That's it. Walk as he walked, and he walked in obedience to his Father's commandments. Right? So, that is just a foundation that I'm laying as to why we are preoccupied with prophecy and why we should be preoccupied with prophecy, and why, if we are not preoccupied with prophecy, it shows us up as being fake, as being false believers. Yeah? If we are here talking about, oh, tomorrow is your day, and I see this, and I see, I don't even know some of the terms that they use. I see, there is what are the terms they use?
There's a blessing plan.
Yeah, but they have some terms that they use. Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember them. But the blessed things to do with the prosperity of this world, of provisions of this world, or, you know, I see an overflow, words like those that they use. Yes? Carnal. The true believer walks as the Messiah walked, striving to walk in humility, walk in nothingness. He said, if any man follow me, let him deny himself. And he says, if you're not willing to give up all that you have, you cannot be my disciple. And he said to the rich young man, sell all you have and give to the poor and follow me. It's a life of living with minimal, of being satisfied with minimal provision. That is the true life of a believer. All right? So you cannot have the testimony of Yahusha if you're chasing this world. Very, very sorry. So this brings us to what we're here for today. The real action. I just want to lay down that foundation, because it's very, very important for us to understand. If you are not preoccupied with prophecy, you do not have the testimony of Yahusha, and you are going to be wasting your time. So what do you need to do if you don't have the testimony of Yahusha? You need to start over. Repent and be baptized in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach, because no doubt you have been baptized in the name of JC.
That is it.
Or in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, which means you did not truly receive the gift of the Holy Spirit, the gift of Ruach HaKodesh. Yes? Because the gift of the Ruach would lead you into all truth.
And Brother C,
Yes, bro.
that is one of the things we are seeing with them. They are looking at the fact that so long they're in this Christianity, so long in this lie, So they
Yeah.
feel it's so difficult to go back and empty themselves, deny themselves, and start all over. So that they're seeing a big challenge there, but not realizing that is the only way to get the truth. You must
The only
empty
way.
all the lies.
Only way.
That is it.
And they try to stay in there. A lot of them that I've ministered to, they try to stay in there. I keep telling you have to come out. And they've stayed in there. This is girl that I was ministering to. For years, I've been trying to minister to her. And she even got some dreams. And when I translated the dreams, they were doomed there, as if she was being told the truth and she's rejecting the truth. Man, the other day I see her, told me how she had left the church and she doesn't feel like going back there and everything. You know, some people are talking to you to make it sound as if they're making progress. And the rock Mashiach in you is letting you read them, knowing you that you're like, yeah, right. And you're just standing there and just listening. Man, the other day I saw her on Facebook in the church singing her songs to our JC and everything. Because she did not come out and start over.
Lazy.
Remember we did the teaching the other day and we said that if you are married to two people, you become an adulterer.
Yep.
The first one has to die. And you are died, you die and you are buried in baptism. Yeah. So if you do not start over, you are going to be lost thinking that you are okay. As the Messiah said in, was it John 9:41? Is it? Yeah, something like that. And he says, you say you see, therefore your sin remains. So they are thinking that they see, not listening, not trying to prove all things, not trying to empty out and restart. And so they are lost, not having the Ruach Mashiach. And so they equate Jesus Christ with Yahusha. And they say, oh, same thing, same name, whatever. No, you have to die to JC and be born in Yahusha HaMashiach. You have to start over. Wipe everything afresh because you were in deception and you were in sin. You can't just walk from deception and walk into truth. You have to erase, zero out. And when you zero out, then the Most High can fill you. Yeah? So that's the foundation. What we're really here to look at today, we are here to look at the record, the prophecy that is in the 2nd Esdras 15, which gives an end time prophecy thing that what we're going to do today. We're just going to look at 2nd Esdras 15, and then we're going to look at precepts, matching precepts that confirm it. And then through the precepts and through the 2nd Esdras 15, we will seek to get insights into. So if you see anything, Brother Mahar, or any of the other men here, if you see anything, you can interject and speak because it is so vast and there are so many scriptures that match up. I only got a few scriptures that match. You might have other scriptures that match up with it as well. But the 2nd Esdras 15, this is one of the books that they rejected from the Bible. It is accurate when it comes to the Bible. All the precepts that I've had are accurate in terms of the end time predictions and gives us more insight as to what to expect in the end. Yeah? So, let me get this thing. All right. Let me, yeah. Coming up. All right. So let's go to 2nd Esdras 15. And we're going to look at it a few verses by a few verses. We're going to look first at 2nd Esdras 15, 1-4. Remember, we're occupied with the ancients. Yeah, we don't care about church fathers, those Gentiles who said, okay, then you must not read this book because this book is, get out of here. These are our fathers. These are our forefathers who have written these things for us, and you don't want us to read it because it's going to show up your religion. Get out of here, Mr. Gentile. Yes? Hold on, please.
In the meantime, let's just line up ourselves to be walking in the prophecies. If we are not walking in the prophecies, it's simply saying that we are none of his. So we got to wake up and stay awake, get ready and stay ready. Whatever it is that is prophecy and we are not seeing it, it is a good chance that we are not seeking the Most High with all our heart. So let's not allow these truths to come through one ears and go through the other ear. The scripture says, who have an ear to hear, let them hear what the Spirit is saying to us today. And there is no doubt that everything is just so clear. It is like each week, it becomes so much clearer what is happening in this world. So if at this point, like today, if any one of us are still wondering or asking questions, that means you did not deny yourself, and therefore you have a lot of work to do to catch up, because it is very, very serious. There is no turning back. What this world is doing is trapping our mind to believe in their system, and we cannot believe into a thing at the same time. So if we are believing in their system, we will not be able to see and to understand prophecies. So it is our choice. The Most High show us good and evil, life and death. He said, choose life. So what are we going to choose? What are we choosing? Which side are we on? It's very easy for us to identify what path are we taking. Because if our lives are lined up with truth, that is a good sign that we are walking towards prophecy. We are walking in prophecy. We are expecting prophecies to come to pass. But if these things aren't happening, that's bad business. It is simply saying that we are drifting away, being none of his. So it's time to get ready and stay ready before it is too late.
All right. Sorry about that. My daughter is not feeling well. So, yeah. 2nd Esdras 5, verse 1. Read, please.
Behold, speak thou in the ear of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, say Yahuwah.
Speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy. So, take out the pencil. So if his people are not willing to hear the word of prophecy, how can it benefit them? And if they are not able to understand the words of prophecy, how will it benefit them? So this is why the Most High saved these books let me get, yeah, this is why the Most High preserved these books until the end. Let me get this thing. Revelation 12, verse 4. Read it, please.
You mean Daniel?
Yeah.
But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased.
So the Most High, this is how the Most High works. He shuts up the books until the time of the end. And then let's go to 2nd Esdras 14 now to get more insights into it as well. 2nd Esdras 14. All right, so this was Esdras. We used it several times before. This was Esdras when he was the Most High gave him 204 books to write. All right. Verse 40, read from verse 45.
45.
And the Most High now is going to instruct him as to what to do with the books. Because we want to show you why these books have been hidden from us all this time and why now is the time that we should read them. All right? Read, please.
And it came to pass, when the 40 days were filled, that the highest spake, saying, the first that thou hast written, publish openly, that the worthy and unworthy may read it.
All right. So he's telling him that the first set of books that he wrote, publish it openly so everyone can read it, whether they are worthy or whether they are unworthy. And that is the Bible. Everyone can read it, whether they're worthy or unworthy. Publish the 66 books. But verse 46 says,
but keep the 70 last, that thou mayest deliver them only to such as be wise among the people.
You see that? That's the principle. That's why books like these are left for us. Thou may deliver them only to such as be wise among the people. Most of these people of the world, they don't know these books. Or if they read it, they might read it once. They don't take it as anything to make anything out of. All right? Because it is left for such as be wise.
Wise among the people.
Verse 47 says,
47. For in them is the spring of understanding, the fountain of wisdom, and the stream of knowledge.
got it?
That is it.
The spring of understanding. When you have a spring, that is the source of the river. Think about that. The fountain of wisdom. A fountain is when the water is flowing profusely, right?
Yep.
And the stream of knowledge is when speaking of something that is flowing. So that is why we need these books. That is why we have the people have been made to be deceived into thinking that these books are nothing. All right?
And also, brother, see, the scripture says, if you seek him diligently with all your heart and soul, you shall find him, right? So,
yeah, if you seek him, you shall find him.
Right. So today,
if you search for me with all your heart, yeah.
Yeah, so today, anyone who is hearing this thing for the first time, just match up the fact that if you seek him with all your heart, you'll find him. So when we look and see that second Esdras is saying that he should write 204 books and distribute some to the wise and the rest to the worthy and the unworthy. That means you are to start seeking to find these books and see what other books are out there hidden.
Yes.
Because with a book called Joshua also, it is in the regular Bible, something was referred to, and it says, as in the book of Joshua. Now, if you are reading and seeking, you're going to try and find out which book is the book of Joshua. And you're going to skip through the Bible and you won't find it. So that is where you're going to seek and search diligently. At that point, you will find. So you could be among the worthy or the wise if you seek for all these other truths that's been hidden from us.
Yep. All right, verse 2.
Verse 2. And cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true.
Verse 3.
Fear not the imagination against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee.
Yeah. All right. Fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity or the unbelief or disbelief of them trouble thee that speak against thee. So it's the same thing for us. People are speaking against us. It says, fear not. And it's going to get worse and worse because as time goes on, the vaxxers are going to get angry and more aggressive against us. Fear not the imaginations against thee. All right. And yesterday, I've been an ongoing conversation on Facebook. I posted something on Facebook that said vaxxers. In a sense, if you have been vaxxed, you are going to be part of a what you may call it, of a system where you are attached to an artificial intelligence computer. Yeah. And this man said, this man said, honestly, I really believe, I've been following your posts, and I honestly believe that you need psychiatric help.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Oh, yeah. When I saw it, I had to laugh. So I said to him, I asked him, so why are you following a madman? He answered and said, I honestly do not know. So I responded again. So the conversation is ongoing. So fear not the incredulity of them. Let not the incredulity or the unbelief or disbelief of them trouble thee that speak against thee. Okay? For verse 4 says?
Verse 4. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness.
All the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Isaiah 1, 27 to 28. Remember, we're going through it, matching it up with different things to get more insight. Isaiah 1, 27 to 28. All the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. And this is a verse that kind of matches up with it. Isaiah 1, 27 to 28. I'm going to be matching up these verses to let people know that these books are true, because they do nothing but complement the rest of the 66 books. They do not contradict them. You all right? Read from verse 27.
Zion shall be redeemed with judgment, and her convert with righteousness.
Verse 28.
And the destruction of the transgressors and of the sinners shall be together, and they that forsake Yahuwah shall be consumed.
The unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. And this says, and the destruction of the transgressors and of the sinners shall be together, and they that forsake Yahuwah shall be consumed.
Yes, indeed.
What's the difference between the transgressors and of the sinners?
Well, I'm not seeing any difference.
The transgressors, sin is transgression of the law.
Mm-hmm.
So for those who know the law and have the law and transgress against it, they will be called the transgressors. The sinners now are those who sin according to their nature, not necessarily having the law, but just live a life of plain old sin. So the transgressors would more relate to those who have knowledge of Yahuwah, or have knowledge of his way. Okay?
So the sinner would be what we would say a born sinner, what they would normally say.
Yeah.
Okay.
The transgressors are those who know the way, know the truth, have a little knowledge of the truth, might just even have a little knowledge of the truth, know what is right and wrong according to the Most High, and still continue in their transgressions. They will be destroyed along with the people who just plain live a life not caring thus. And these will be like the Gentiles, etc., who have no desire. They have not ever heard about the way of truth. All right? And they that forsake Yahuwah shall be consumed. So these are those who walking with Yahuwah and forsake him.
So in this verse, and they that forsake Yahuwah shall be consumed. And when you go back to, was it Esdras? It actually match up right this part, because there would be the unfaithful. The one that forsake him would be the one that are yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So before we go any further, though, while we're looking at who will be destroyed, we also have to look at how we are protected in the end time. Very important. with all the destruction that is coming up and all the negatives, we have to slip in this positive. We're going to show that it is wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that preserves us. Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Proverbs 4, 1 to 27. So we have to lay the foundation as to how we are preserved before we go any further. Because you might read the rest of it and might feel downtrodden, downcast, depressed. This is the way. Wise instruction from the Father. Verse 1.
Hear, ye children, the instruction of a father, and attend to no understanding.
And attend to do what?
No understanding.
Understanding, man. What it makes sense you have this book? And everything you have to go, you have to ask your pastor. You have no understanding whatsoever unless those recitations that you are sent. You ever talk to most of these people yet? And but was it a couple of days ago I was talking to a Seventh-day Adventist man. And the man just kept reciting what the things. I'm like, what is wrong with these people? I have to say, but I've heard this all before, over and over. They don't have any personal insight, nothing in them that can let you say, well, they have understanding. They're just repeating the same thing. All right? Attend to no understanding. When you know understanding, you cannot be saying the same thing over and over.
They're bright. They're biblical brilliant.
Yeah. Verse 2.
Verse 2. For I give you good doctrine. Forsake ye not my law.
What? Read this again.
Forsake ye not my law.
And remember, those who love his law are going to be occupied with prophecies. Can't have the spirit of Messiah. You cannot have the testimony of Yahusha without his law. Do not forsake his law. Do not forsake his law. Verse 3.
For I was my father's son, tender and only beloved in the sight of my mother.
Continue.
He taught me also, and said unto me, let thine heart retain my words. Keep my commandments and live.
Keep my commandments. Keep my commandments and
live.
Eternal life. You cannot have eternal life unless you keep his commandments. Keep my commandments and
live.
All right, so we're going to show you all the necessary ingredients.
Well, I'm brother C, just stay right there real quick. So this one is very, very simple. We can just flip it, because where it says keep my commandments and live,
yeah,
we got to see if we don't keep his commandment, if you don't live, you die, right?
Yep.
That is it.
Simple. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they might have right to the tree of life. Revelation 14 rather. Verse 5.
Verse 5. Get wisdom, get understanding, forget it not, neither decline from the words of my mouth.
And this is what I'm telling you. Get wisdom and get understanding. We have been grown up in religion, whereby we have a pastor that, what does he do? Inputs his thing in our mind. Whatever we want, he programs in our mind. We don't get wisdom, we don't get understanding, we don't get knowledge. We just believe that if we are a Christian, we're okay. That's what we're programmed to believe. As long as you have Jesus. Yes, that's what we were programmed to believe. Nothing about wisdom. So they don't get wisdom, they don't get understanding. It says, forget it not, neither decline from the words of my mouth. You see this? What's the word of his mouth?
Torah.
Law and the prophets.
Yep.
Because he spoke to us through the prophets. All right. Verse 6.
Forsake her not, and she shall preserve thee. Love her, and she shall keep thee.
The her that he's speaking about is wisdom.
Yep.
Verse 7.
Wisdom is the principal thing thereof. Get wisdom, and with all thine getting, get understanding.
Therefore, get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. It's wisdom and understanding. These are the things that make us overcome. So in this end time, if we don't have wisdom and understanding, how can we understand the prophecies? How can we overcome the wickedness? And this is why Christians cannot overcome the deception that is upon them. They don't have the wisdom and the understanding. So the things that we look on as being so silly and so easy to see, they cannot see it because they do not seek wisdom and understanding. It is seeking wisdom and understanding that lets you get out of the tricks and the deception that they have you under. Verse 8.
Exalt her, and she shall promote thee. She shall bring thee to honor when thou doest embrace her.
You see that?
Yep. Indeed.
Wisdom is going to lift you up. Yeah? Take you out of the garbage that they have you under.
Brother C, as you're on verse 8, go back to verse 8 real quick, please.
Yeah.
When we look that wisdom, if we exalt her, and she shall promote thee, she shall bring thee to honor when thou dost embrace her. What I'm seeing here, in the wilderness, it will be so much more doable to exalt her because that will be our life. When we are in this world system, in the city area, there are so much different things that we tend to. So many of us, we believe it is hard to exalt her, but it is the things within this world make us think it is difficult. So if we are not in the midst of her, we're going to realize that, yes, indeed, we shall exalt her and she shall promote us. That is it.
Yeah, verse 9.
She shall give to thine head an ornament of grace, a crown of splendor shall she deliver to thee.
Continue.
Hear, O my son, and receive my saying, and the years of thy life shall be many.
All right. Hear and receive. Hear and receive. And you shall have long life. That's what we're saying, that the only way out of these deception is to seek after wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Verse 11.
I have taught thee in the way of wisdom. I have led thee in right path.
Right paths. Continue.
When thou goest, thy steps shall not be strengthened, and when thou runnest, thou shalt not stumble.
You see all the things that wisdom does?
Yes,
yeah?
Indeed.
And we sitting in our little churches listening to these people telling us things, not searching out things for ourselves, not seeking wisdom for ourselves. Verse 13.
Take fast hold of instruction. Let her not go. Keep her, for she is thy life.
Take hold of instruction. All of us just want to follow our own way. Many of us want to have our own way, thinking that we have reached. Yes? You know that there are many, many women out there, Lone Ranger women. I have noticed something online, a whole lot of Lone Ranger women out there. They believe that they know. And they don't take instructions because the truth has been opened to them. Some of them might have sought diligently and have reached somewhere. They don't really listen to people. It is something that has been on me for the past week or so. I'm noticing it even more profound. All right? Several women I've come into contact with, and they are like this. They don't take fast hold of instruction. All right? Because they don't believe, they don't seem to believe that wisdom comes from elsewhere. Wisdom works through other people. This is how wisdom works. The Most High will give other people wisdom for us to get it through them. Brother Mahar and I The other day we went on a what should I say, expedition, as it were. And we met up on a man. And the man was saying something. And I had to ask him I touched my heart and asked the man to repeat it. The man was speaking scriptures, was referring to a situation that was at hand. And he was speaking straight out of scripture. And he didn't realize it. And we were laughing. Yeah? And this was a Rasta man. And we were laughing because he said he doesn't even realize what he's saying. Yeah? But we were willing, we quickly saw what it was. And we listened to him. Another one that it was the same day, I think, or the day before. Brother Mahar and I were in the town again. And a man came up. Now this man, a lot of people think he's crazy. And I think he's a Seventh-day Adventist man, and he started preaching. Brother Mahar and Amikai and myself. And he started preaching, and so we started listening. And when the man was preaching true word. He didn't say anything out of line. And we listened. And when he left, we had to thank him for the word. Yeah? Because you learn from everyone. Yeah? You listen to everyone, you get something from them. Unless, of course, you realize that someone is false. Because there are false people who are going to talk foolishness, and you're going to know right away. And you say, okay, bye, time to go. But you got to listen and take fast hold of instruction and do not let her go, no matter who it is coming from. All right? I don't know who that is going out to. Proverbs 4:14. Read, please.
And enter not in the path of the wicked, and go not in the way of evil men.
This is how you overcome in the end. Do not enter into the path of the wicked, and go not in the way of evil men. This is why we speak about fleeing to the mountains. Because man is going to go do wicked. What did he say in the book of Daniel? And the wicked shall do wickedly. So those people are controlling this world. We see here in Jamaica, the Minister of Health saying that there are going to be consequences for those who are not vaccinated. Consequences. Now you tell me now. I hear these people spitting out all of these venoms, all of these promises of what is to come. And the thing has not yet been made, been passed by the FDA. The thing is not yet legal. And they are saying this. What when FDA within a month or 2 or 3 makes it legal? What do you think these people are going to do?
The day after, they're going to start.
Hey, and what are they going to do? Wickedness.
Indeed.
Why do you want to stay among these people? Why should we stay among these people? To let them exercise their wickedness on us? When the Most High had warned us on how to overcome it, to get away from them. The Most High said, take yourself away from them. What did he say? Go not in the way of evil men. In other words, stay away from them. Don't go in their path. Verse 15. Year 15.
15. Avoid it. Pass not by it. Turn from it and pass away.
You hear that? Look at
Yes.
it. Look at this again. Avoid it.
Avoid it.
Pass not by it. Turn from it. Pass away.
In other words, in every single way, don't go close to it.
Exactly. Verse 16.
For they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away, unless they cause some to fall.
And this is them. This is what's describing these people in the world. They are giving these people this thing that is killing them. Yes? It is killing them and destroying them, maiming them, all sorts of things. And they go to their beds, come up every day with some other strategy. How can I get more people to take this thing? Yeah? Verse 17.
Before we go to verse 17, verse
Yeah.
16 is matching up so good with that BG guy. I
Yeah.
heard him said in an interview that he have sleepless night, he can't sleep. So now we're seeing that except they have done mischief. So he have to
Yes.
continue until he succeed in the wickedness that he's doing. He can't sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And it is there in the scripture, for they sleep not, except they have done mischief.
Yes.
Verse 17. For they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence.
Mm-hmm. Verse 18.
But the part of the just is as the shining light that shineth more and more unto the perfect day.
All right. Continue.
The way of the wicked is as darkness. They know not at what they stumble.
All right. So they're doing their wickedness and not knowing at what they stumble. Verse 20.
My son, attend to my words. Incline thine ears unto my sayings.
This is the second time he's saying this, you know.
Yep.
Attend to my words. So when we reject his words, saying his words are done away and all of that, it's suicide. 21.
Let them not depart from thine eyes. Keep them in the midst of thine heart.
Yeah. 22.
For they are life unto those that find them, and health to all their flesh.
So his words are life to those that find them, and health to all their flesh. I'm telling you, religion has done us really, really bad. Verse 23.
Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life.
24.
Put away from thee a froward mouth and perverse lips. Put far from thee.
All right, so what we are seeing here is how to live in righteousness, so that in the end you can be found without spot or blemish. 25.
25. Let thine eyes look right on, and let thine eyelids look straight before thee.
You know the implications of this? A lot of us, we are in the way and we are walking, and we might be diligent now, focus, and then something comes along. Bam! And then we are distracted and gone off somewhere. And then we go back on the path. This is the lifestyle of most of us as believers. Shabbat comes, we keep the Shabbat and everything is this and everything. But then as the Shabbat is over, bam, we deviate again. And we're gone into a whole lot of tangents, a whole lot of things. All right? It says, let thine eyes look right on. So we press towards the mark of the high calling, which is in Yahusha Mashiach, and that is all we're looking at. We are not looking at this world and going back to normal and all of that. No, look, our eyelids look straight before us, fixed on Yahusha. Verse 26.
26. Ponder the path of thy feet, and let all thy ways be established.
Again, here's a repeat again. Turn not
to the right. Okay, turn not to the right hand, nor to the left. Remove thy foot from evil.
All right, so this is a solution for everything. Before we get into the real prophecies, this is a solution that ensures that throughout all of these prophecies, we are going to be preserved. Okay. All right. So let's continue. 2 Esdras 5:5-6. Plagues upon the world for its wickedness. All right, so you don't want to be in this wickedness. That's why we just gave the Proverbs 1:4-1-27 a while ago, so that you know, strive after wisdom, knowledge, understanding, strive after right living, set your hearts focused on the Most High, remove from wicked people, remove from the evil, all right, and you will be preserved in the end. 2 Esdras. Where was I? 2 Esdras 15:5-6. Read, please.
Behold, saith Yahuwah, I will bring plagues upon the world. I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction.
Verse 6.
For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and there it is a bit.
For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Are you there, bro? Are you there? Oh, don't tell me. Brother Mahar. Brother Mahar got cut off. El Pedro.
Yes, big brother.
Yeah, where were we again?
With verse 6.
Yeah, read
15,
verse 6.
For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled.
All right. So this is what is happening on this earth today. The hurtful works of the wicked is coming to a fullness. And because of that, Yahuwah says he will bring plagues upon the whole world. Okay? Now we have to understand that in the days of Egypt, what happened in Egypt with Pharaoh, and in the end, the whole world will be like Egypt, or will be treated like Egypt because of how the people of the world have treated his people. Remember, his people are going to be scattered to the four corners of the world in many different nations. So each nation would have the similitude of Egypt. But there is one main Egypt that is going to be the main poster boy for Egypt. That is Estados Unidos, United States. All right? But still, the whole world is going to have the effects of the plague. Yeah? And during the plague, there is going to be protection for the righteous. Job 5, 15 to 27. Protection for the righteous and destruction for the wicked. Job 5, 15 to 27. So he just swore that there will be what? Plagues, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. So let's see how he will treat the righteous among them. Verse 15.
Verse 15. But he saved the poor from the sword, from their mouth, and from the hand of the mighty.
You see that? The plague of the sword is coming down, but the poor he's going to save from the sword, from their mouth, and from the hand of the mighty. All right, so from all the wickedness that the wicked are saying, that's from their mouth, all the wickedness, he's going to save the poor from it. Verse 16.
So the poor hath hope, and iniquity stoppeth their mouth. Behold.
All right, so the poor is talking about those who are in righteousness. All right, not poor in iniquity. Verse 17.
Behold, happy is the man who allure correcteth. Therefore, despise not thou the chastening of the Almighty.
Yeah. Yeah, the chastening of the Almighty. So,
yes.
before the Most High rescues his people, there is always a chastening before. And we're going to show that further on. When the children of Israel were in Egypt, they were in bondage, so much in bondage that they cried to the Most High. That was when the Most High heard them. So his people are going to be chastened in the end. So we must not despise it. If we are brought to a low estate in the end, we have to sustain and keep crying to the Most High. Verse 18.
For he maketh sore and bindeth up, he woundeth, and his hands make whole.
Verse 19.
He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles, yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee.
You see that? So before after the chastening, we will be perfected. Then he will deliver us. All right? No, after the chastening. After the chastening, he will, what should I say? He will, what should I say? He will heal our wounds then, after the chastening. And then he will deliver us. Verse 20.
In famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword.
You see that? You're seeing the relationship. Let's go back to 2 Esdras 15. Where is it? Oh, yeah. 2 Esdras 15 that promised, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. And in the book of Job, it's telling us that he's going to protect us from all of that. In famine, he shall redeem thee from death, and in war, from the power of the sword. This is the righteous, the poor, and afflicted. That's why we have to be in righteousness, people. Verse 21.
Thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh.
So all these people are writing about like this, what I call him, this minister of health. There will be consequences for death and that. We don't fear. All of the tongue of these people. All right? Neither anything that they have plotted against us, any destruction that they have plotted against us. We shall not fear. Verse 22.
Verse 22. At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth.
I'm telling you. You see righteousness? We have all of this hope when we are in righteousness, people. All of this hope. Verse 24.
And thou shalt know that thy tabernacle shall be in peace, and thou shalt visit thy habitation and shall not sin.
Oh, we have to be in righteousness. Thy tabernacle, meaning thy tent or your dwelling place, shall be in shalom. That's why we need to flee from the wicked. Yes? Flee to the mountains. So our dwelling place shall be in peace. And we shall visit our habitation and we shall not sin. Verse 25.
Thou shalt know also that thy seed shall be great, thine offspring is the grass of the earth.
Continue.
Thou shalt come to thy grave in a full age, like as a shock of corn cometh in his season.
27.
Lo, this. We have searched it, so it is. Hear it, and know thou it for thy good.
Oh, that's another pleasant journey. But what about the wicked? What's going to happen to the wicked man? Jeremiah 15:15 to 38. Gonna see the two sides of the coin here. Jeremiah 15. Read, please.
15.
Yeah.
O Yahuwah, thou knowest, remember me and visit me and revenge me of my persecutors. Take me not away in thy long suffering. Know that for thy sake I have suffered rebuke.
Continue.
Thy words were found, and I did eat them, and thy word was unto me the joy and rejoicing of my heart.
No. It's wrong. My bad. I knew that something didn't sound right. It's Jeremiah 25. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, this is it. Go ahead, please.
For thus said Yahuwah, Alua of Israel, unto me, take the wine cup of this fury at my hand, and cause all the nations to whom I send thee to drink it.
All right, hear this. When the Most High brings Yasharal into captivity, all of this that is going here, he gave to his people. When his people are now being brought out of captivity, he is going to take everything that is on his people, all the afflictions, all the curses that are upon his people. He's going to take it off his people, and then he's going to put it on the nations. So this is what he's telling Jeremiah. Yeah? Verse 16.
16. And they shall drink and be moved and be mad because of the sword that I will send among them.
And this is directed to all the nations.
Hmm.
All right, this is what is happening in the world today. Yes. And they shall drink and be moved, be mad because of a sword that I will send among them. The sword is coming. Verse 17.
Then look, the cup of the Yahuwah's hand.
Then took.
Sorry, let me start. Then took I the cup of Yahuwah's hand and made all the nations to drink, unto whom Yahuwah had sent me.
Continue.
To wit, Jerusalem and the cities of Judah and the kings thereof and the princes thereof, to make them a desolation and astonishment and hissing and a curse as it is this day.
All right. So he sent him to Jerusalem first. So Jerusalem first got their punishment. And then after that, verse 19.
Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and his servants and his princes and all his people.
Yeah.
And all the mingled people, and all the kings of the land of Uz, and all the kings of the land of the Philistines, and Ashkelon, and Azar, and Ekron, and the remnant of Ashdod.
21.
Edom and Moab, and the children of Ammon.
All of
and
these
all
people.
the
Yeah, all of these people are going to get a whipping. Continue.
And all the kings of Tyrus, and all the kings of Zidon, and the kings of the isles which are beyond the sea.
Hey, the kings of the isles which are beyond the sea. I live on one of those isles. Yeah? Continue.
The Dan and Tema and Baz and all that are in the utmost corners.
Continue.
And all the kings of Arabia and all the kings of the mingled people that dwell in the desert.
Continue.
And all the kings of Zimri and all the kings of Elam and all the kings of the Medes.
Continue.
And all the kings of the north, far and near, one with another, and all the kingdoms of the world which are upon the face of the earth. And the king of Shishak shall drink after them.
Yes, all of these nations, even our nation, we talk about the minister of health there. They're going to get a whooping. Watch what's going to happen.
Brother Brian, when you speak of the minister of health, actually ministers of health all over the world have become the ministers of death.
Yes.
They are the ones who go foremost to try and explain as to why people have to receive what they give unto the nations. Therefore, they've become the ministers of destruction,
Yes.
desolation among the nations of the earth.
Wow.
Yes.
Continue.
27. Therefore thou shalt say unto them, thus saith Yahuwah of hosts, the Alu of Yisrael, drink ye, be drunken, and spill, and fall, and rise no more, because of the sword which I will send among you.
Continue.
28. And it shall be, if they refuse to take the cup at thine hand to drink, then shalt thou say unto them, thus saith Yahuwah of hosts, ye shall certainly drink.
Continue.
For lo, I begin to bring evil on the city which is called by my name. And should ye be utterly unpunished?
All right, see that here? The Most High always starts with his people. Always starts with his people. And he says, okay, you're punished. All right, now our punishment is over. Our time is over. So will these nations now go unpunished? Let's hear what the Most High say. Continue.
Ye shall not be unpunished, for I will call for a sword upon all the inhabitants of the earth, said Yahuwah of hosts.
So we see a worldwide slaughtering is going to happen in the end time, the likes of which you have never seen before. No World War I or World War II can compare to the slaughtering that is going to come. And we're going to see more of it in 2nd Esdras. Continue.
Therefore prophesy thou against them all these words, and say unto them, Yahuwah shall roar from on high, and utter his voice from his holy habitation. He shall mightily roar upon his habitation. He shall give a shout, as they that tread the grapes, against all the inhabitants of the earth.
Notice this is speaking about end time, all the earth thing. It's no longer now directed at Edom or Ammon or Amalek. This is to the whole world. Continue.
And no shall come even to the ends of the earth. For Yahuwah hath a controversy with the nations. He will plead with all flesh. He will give them that are wicked to the sword.
So so we saw in the book of Job, in the book of Job, we saw what was expected for the righteous, that they'll be protected from the famine, from the sword, from the this, from the that. But we see here for the wicked, it's everything opposite. Verse 32.
32. Thus said Yahuwah of hosts, behold, evil shall go forth from nation to nation, and a great whirlwind shall be raised up from the coast of the earth.
Yes, from nation to nation, evil from nation to nation. Verse 33.
And the slain of Yahuwah shall be at that day from one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. They shall not be lamented, neither gathered nor buried. They shall be dung upon the ground.
Hey, you know that I'm wondering. When I see this verse, you know what comes to mind? This these people have taken this thing, and the doctors are predicting that according to how their immune system will function, within 2 to 3 years, millions of people will die. And
actually,
yeah, go ahead.
Actually, as it stands right now, it's happening. Millions or thousands, I would say, of people are going down. They don't say it because they're afraid that as they come up with new variants, people might be afraid. Now, I have it on record here where I am, that those who took the first jab, over 6,000, there were not plenty, over 6,000 did not make it back for a second jab because most of them went down. Wow.
But it's hidden from every media.
It is hidden.
But this is speaking to a time when they are going to fall so many that they will not be gathered nor buried. So this is either speaking of that or speaking of a war or something. There's gonna be so many people killed. So nobody's gonna even think about burying them because they won't be able to bury them. I remember watching a video this week with this monk or friar or whatever he is. And he was saying that we should all get hazmat suits because when the people die, they are going to be so numerous, they are not going to be able to bury them. And we're going to have to see people and be burying people. So this comes to mind as I read this. Read verse 34, please.
Hold ye shepherds and cry, and wallow yourselves in the ashes, ye principals of the flock. For the days of your slaughter and of your dispersion are accomplished, and ye shall fall like a pleasant vessel.
You see this? These are the people who are leading all those pastors who are misleading people. Yeah? The days of your slaughter and of your dispersions are accomplished. Ye shall fall like a pleasant vessel.
Just as it says in the book of Revelations 18:4, Babylon has fallen.
Fallen.
The only thing that we are waiting is just the manifestation, but it's already been manifested in the spirit.
Yes.
Those who keep the commandments, they do know that it's manifested, but those who are not, they still do not understand. Babylon is fallen. Come out of there, my people.
Yep. And chasing down Babylon. Yeah? Still chasing down Babylon.
Still preaching prosperity, marriage, job, everything else. Still the same, nothing is because of blindness.
Blindness. And because they don't have the testimony of Yahusha.
Don't have the prophecy.
Which is the spirit of prophecy. They don't and cannot understand prophecy, neither do they have the desire for the prophetic. Continue, please.
Verse 36, is that it? No, 35.
35.
And the shepherd shall have no way to flee, nor the principal of the flock to escape.
Yes.
A
Continue.
voice of the cry of the shepherds and the howling of the principal of the flock shall be heard, for Yahuwah has spoiled their pasture.
Yes, so the shepherds are going to be howling. Yeah? Crying and howling. Hey, for Yahuwah had spoiled their pasture. What does it mean by spoiling their pasture? Where do you get from that, bro? When you think about these false religions nowadays.
What happens is those who keep the commandments keep on spreading the truth. There are a lot of people now actually who are turning away from following these shepherds.
Yeah.
They are no longer believing what has been happening throughout because the message is all the same. So many people are actually coming to question what has been going on and start to believe the truth. For now, even the so-called churches, they are coming to start to obey the Shabbat, to obey the commandments. The one thing, as we read in the book of Esdras, in the book of Daniel, that these books were shut until the days of the end. Now that these books are opened to the elect, people are starting to understand. The unworthy and the worthy, they're starting to understand that there is a truth somewhere out there. Now they're starting to come out of Babylon. So the pasture of the shepherd is being spoiled in that the truth is being spoken. Many people are deserting the religious world.
Yeah. And the pastor also, I agree with that. But the pastor also speaks of where the flock grazes.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember, you have the shepherds, then you have the flock, and you have the place where the flocks graze.
Yes.
The place where the flocks graze are their churches.
The churches.
Yes, and we see the church is being closed down.
They're
It has been spoiled.
They're closed. Nobody
Yeah,
goes to church.
Yeah, the whole system, the whole church system, where they from where they gather these people, that's all been spoiled. Verse 37.
37. And the peaceable habitations are cut down because of the fierce anger of Yahuwah.
You see that? The peaceable habitations, they used to be able to exploit these people in peace in these churches. And the Most High has cut it down. Verse 38.
He hath forsaken his covert as the lion, for their land is desolate because of the fierceness of the oppressor, and because of his fierce anger.
All right, so he has hammered his people, and the oppressors are there. But in the end, he's going to overturn the whole world. All right, so that is what's going to be happening to the wicked. Let me get this thing going. Oh, where is it? Oh, let me get it. I'm trying to get second Esdras. 15:5. All right, where was I again? Lost. All right. So, second Esdras 15:6-9 tells us about the innocent and the righteous blood must be avenged upon the earth. Because these people all over the earth, the wicked all over the earth, they have shed innocent and righteous blood. And these blood cry out to the Most High for vengeance. That's why here in Revelation it says, and I saw the souls under the altar saying, how long, Yahuwah, faithful and true, will you not avenge the blood of, let me get the exact word. I'm not good with remembering these words. Let me get it in the book of Revelation. Revelation 6 verse 10. Read it, please.
Verse 10. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, how long, O Yahuwah, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth?
This is the blood of the righteous. Let me start from 9, sorry.
Verse 9. And when he had opened the fifth seal, I saw on the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of Yahuwah and for the testimony which they held.
So these are the righteous. These are the righteous among our people. They will be complaining because of their righteous blood that has been shed. And read 10 again.
10. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, how long, O Yahuwah, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth?
All right. So this is what you're going to be looking at right now. Second Esdras 15:6-9. Read, please.
For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled.
Continue.
Therefore said Yahuwah, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually.
Verse 9.
And therefore said Yahuwah, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them.
So he's going to avenge them and receive unto him all the innocent blood from among them. So gross wickedness is happening in this world. Look at the slaughtering that is going on with this medication that these people have given us. Look at the slaughtering. Look how many thousands of people are dying worldwide. All right? It's innocent blood. And throughout history, these people have wickedly shed innocent blood in all their evil as they strive to control the world and keep the world according to how they want it. So, I will surely avenge them. Genesis 4, 9 to 10. This is from the days of righteous Abel. Read, please.
And Yahuwah said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper?
Continue.
10. And he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood cried unto me from the ground.
From the ground. The voice of thy brother's blood cried to me. The innocent blood cries unto me from the ground. Numbers 35, 33. And the Most High has to honor it because verse 33.
33. So ye shall not so ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defieth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. But by the blood of him that shed it.
So these wicked people who shed the blood, they must have their blood shed.
Good.
Simple as that. So that is why the time must come when the wicked are destroyed. That's just it. They have to be destroyed for the land to be purged or to be cleansed from the innocent blood that has been shed. The Most High has to have his vengeance. Has to. And so that is why you have he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Yeah. And they have the saying, if you live by the gun, you die by the gun. That's the Most High's way of taking vengeance for the innocent blood. All right. So the next few verses now, next couple verses are speaking about the wilderness. And I think we should spend some time on the wilderness. What we're going to do with Esdras 15, we won't be able to complete it today because it is so long. And with the precepts, it's going to be so long. But we're going to go where we can go, maybe 2.5 hours. And then we will continue another time. But the second Esdras 15, 10 to 11 actually brings out the wilderness. Let's go there. Read from verse 10, please.
Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt.
Stop again. Read this again.
I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt.
Yeah. Verse 11.
But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues. As before, I will destroy all the land thereof.
Now this is very important. Very, very, very important, because this was written in the Babylonian captivity. Ezra was in the Babylonian captivity. That was long after Egypt. But he says he's going to smite Egypt with plagues as before.
Yes.
So much of the rest of this is going to dwell with the wilderness, because we know we are preoccupied with prophecy and we have to understand the wilderness, and more people want to know and get more insights into the wilderness. So let's dwell a little here to see what we can get. All right. He will smite Egypt as before. That means it is the second Exodus he's speaking about. Yeah.
Yes.
And Egypt is going to have plagues. And we know it's the whole world that's going to have plagues, but there is one particular Egypt. Yeah. So let's see what he's speaking about here. Ezekiel 20, 34 to 38. This is what he's speaking about. Second Exodus. What to 38, I said?
34.
Oh.
34 to 38.
Read from verse 33.
33. As I live, saith Yahuwah, surely with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out will I rule over you.
Continue.
And I will bring you out from the people and will gather you out of the countries therein ye are scattered, wherein ye are scattered, with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out.
This is just as in the time of Egypt. This is the second Exodus. This is what second Esdras is speaking about in 10 to 11. Verse 35.
35. And I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face.
Continue. Continue.
Like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt, so I will plead with you, saith Yahuwah Alua.
This is what he's speaking about in second Esdras, verse 37.
And I will cause you to pass under the rod, and I will bring you into the bond of the covenant.
Continue.
And I will purge out from among you the rebels, and them that transgress against me. I will bring them forth out of the country where they sojourn, and they shall not enter into the land of Israel. And ye shall know that I am Yahuwah.
All right, so this is what we are speaking about, the second Exodus here in second Esdras 15, 10 to 11. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. So when the wilderness comes around, it will be when his people are being led to destruction. See? My people is led as a flock to the slaughter. It is when his people are being led to destruction that they are going to be gathered into the wilderness. I will not suffer them to dwell in the land of Egypt. So in Egypt, they are going to be slaughtered. They are going to be led as a flock to the slaughter. And the Messiah is going to say, no more Egypt. Time's up. Just as he said, if the time is not cut short, not even the elect will be saved. He's going to say, that's it. Time's up. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm. So when we are being brought out of Egypt, when we are being brought into the wilderness, it's going to be so profound. Everyone is going to see it. He's going to use might, his might, and do it. And Egypt is going to be smitten with plagues as well. Not sure if it's the plagues are going to come before or during or after our being brought into the wilderness as before. But it says as before. So probably the plagues will be as before, and he will set apart his people, who knows, and then bring them in, and will destroy all the land thereof. So we have to try to figure out now, what is this Egypt thing that he's talking about? Anyway, let's look to a prophecy that refers to the same thing, where the Most High bringing people into the wilderness, where he gives protection in the wilderness and persecution in Babylon. This is very important. Protection in the wilderness, persecution in Babylon. Revelation, Isaiah 12, 13 to 17. Read, please.
Verse 13. And when the dragon saw that it was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man child.
Yeah, continue.
And to the woman were given 2 wings of great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time, and times, and half a time, from the face of the serpent.
All right, so the woman is going to be brought into the wilderness, and the serpent is trying to go after the woman, and the woman is going to be protected. Yasharal. Verse 15.
Verse 15. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood.
16.
And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth.
All right, so those in the wilderness were protected. Oh. Those in the wilderness were protected. But verse 17, what about the others? There were other believers as well, and this is what's going to happen to them. Verse 17.
And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of Yahuwah, Allah that is, and have the testimony of Yahusha HaMashiach.
So some will be in the wilderness and some will be left in Babylon. And that Satan, not being able to catch those in the wilderness, is going to turn out his wrath on those who are still in Babylon.
Proceed.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
I think the recording is stopped.
Oh, yeah, I'll have to get it elsewhere.
And
I'll have to
Brother
get it from
Mahal,
YouTube.
Brother Mahal,
Yes, brother.
can
Yes,
you
bro.
continue, please? I have some issue to sort out quickly. Take over.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So, as I had said earlier, there's consistency in that there will be a time of trouble before gathering in the wilderness. Get this, a time of trouble before gathering in the wilderness. It has always been like that. It has been consistent. When the children of Yasharal were in Egypt, there, let's go to it. Exodus 2:23. Exodus 2:23. Go ahead, please.
And it came to pass in process of time that the king of Egypt died, and the children of Israel sighed by reason of the bondage. And they cried, and their cry came up unto Allah by reason of the bondage.
Hear this. This is the final Exodus. Hear this. And we have to make up our mind for this. It's going to be rough and tough before the gathering. It's not going to be a cakewalk. It's going to be rough. Let me say it again. And tough. Yes? Our people are not going to be living. Don't think about If you live comfortably, you give thanks, but don't expect too much. Don't expect a better life being a bed of roses. You have to be prepared to be soldiers. We have to be prepared to be soldiers and to be willing to rough it out. Okay?
Brother C, just to add to what you just said a while ago,
Yeah.
many people migrated to other foreign countries when they were told that it is a bed of rose, right? So when they reach the country, realize it is not a bed of rose, it is rough, it is tough, and they're willing to rough it out. So guess what? This is about life. This is about our salvation. So we have to know that, hey, if we went to a foreign country, very, very cold, being broke, and you still want to be there, you do all it takes to work it out. It is within us, so we can do it.
That's a good analogy. Go ahead.
If I can come in there, please.
What's that? See that?
Yes. Are you there?
Somebody saying something?
Me?
Yeah, go ahead.
I read from a certain news outlet yesterday that most people that went into United States from the year 2016, they started to give up their American citizenship, actually preferred to be out of United States. Because of all the happenings that are there, especially from 2019 to this day. So there are many people that are actually realizing that being there for better life, it has become an issue for them. So they're giving up the citizenship. Yes.
Yeah. And that is an implication for us as well, that there's nothing there. There's nothing there anymore to hold on to. All right. But it's very interesting that there still are many there, to go with Mahar's analogy. There still are many there who still decide that they are going to tough it out. So why we who know and understand what is coming, what is happening, the Most High has given us spiritual insights. The Most High has always made us be ahead of what is happening. Why can't we decide that we are going to soldier it out? Why? We just have to make up our minds that it's going to be tough. And it came to pass in process of time that the king of Egypt died, and the children of Yasharal sighed by reason of the bondage, and they cried. And their cry came up unto Alua by reason of the bondage. And verse 24 says,
and Alua heard their groaning, and Alua remembered this covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob. And Alua looked upon the children of Israel, and Alua had respect unto them.
Because of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, he had respect unto them. He remembered his covenants. This is the same thing that's going to happen again. The Most High never changes. All right? You are going to groan and mourn. We have to make up our minds to tough it out. So, time of trouble before gathering in the wilderness, before and after. So let's go. Hosea 2, 4-13. Hope we can finish this in 2.5 hours. Hosea 2, 4-13. Funny enough, so much we didn't do. 4-13. Read, please.
And I will not have mercy upon her children, for they be the children of whoredoms.
All right, this is speaking about the children of Yasharal, because they had gone a whoring after other gods, after Baal, etc. So the Most High said, I will not have mercy upon her children. Verse 5.
For their mother had played the harlot, she that conceived them had done shamefully. For she said, I will go after my lovers, that give me my bread and my water, my wool and my flax, mine oil and my drink.
Continue.
Therefore, Behold, I will hedge up thy way with thorns, and make a wall that she shall not find her path.
So these are worshiping Baal, etc. So they were saying that they were going after them, but the Most High is going to say he's going to block everything. All right, because the Most High is the ultimate. He's going to block it. You're not going to get any bread and any wool and any flax and any oil and any drink from these demons. Verse 7.
And she shall follow after her lovers, but she shall not overtake them. And she shall seek them, but shall not find them. Then shall she say, I will go and return to my first husband, for then was it better with me than now.
All right. So this is a thing with us today. Most of us are worshiping the Lord today, who is Baal. Okay? False worship and false idol. When you tell them about the Lord, they continue to speak about the Lord. All right? The worship of Baal is so entrenched in us. So, Yahuwah said in verse 8,
For she did not know that I gave her corn and wine and oil, and multiplied her silver and gold, which they prepared for Baal.
so all of us in this false worship of other gods, and we see them flourishing. And we are wondering, how can these people flourish? How can they flourish? And they're worshiping false gods, and we are worshiping Yahuwah, and we are struggling. Yeah? And the Most High multiply the blessings from the idols of the gods, because that is their time now. Yeah? So you were there in your captivity, worshiping the gods of Christianity and thinking that it was God who gave you, or the LORD or JC that made you have it. No, it's Yahuwah. He permitted it and he allowed it. Yeah? Verse 9. But he says in the end, verse 9,
Therefore will I return and take away my corn in the time thereof, and my wine in the season thereof, and will recover my wool and my flax given to cover her nakedness.
Verse 10.
And now will I discover her lewdness in the sight of her lovers, and none shall deliver her out of mine hand.
So for worshiping false idols, this is what is happening to us today. We are here suffering under the curses of the law because our fathers went after false idols. Okay? And verse 11 says,
I will also cause all her mirth to cease, her feast days, her new moons, and her Sabbath, and all her solemn feast.
Okay, so what we're talking about is that we will have a time of trouble before he delivers us, or before he takes us in the wilderness. Verse 12.
And I will destroy her vines and her fig trees, wherefore she had said, these are my reward that my lovers have given me, and I will make them a forest, and the beasts of the field shall eat them.
13.
And I will visit upon her the day of Baalim, wherein she burned incense to them, and she decked herself with her earrings and her jewels, and she went after her lovers and forgot me, said Yahuwah.
Yeah, so this is why before we go into the wilderness, we are going to have to go through a time of chastening. All right? He says you shall not go unpunished, but he also says who he loves, he chastens. So before he delivers us, he's going to chasten us. And it's not going to be pleasant. But then, notice he said here in verse 14, what is the first word in verse 14, bro?
Therefore.
All right. So the therefore means, because of all of this that I just said. Yes, because of all that I just said. Therefore, this is what I will do. Verse 14.
Therefore, behold, I will allow her and bring her into the wilderness and speak comfortably unto her.
You see that?
Yep.
He's now into a different phase. Because of all of that, because you worship Baalim and everything, and I'll punish you and I'll do and that. But he says, because of that, I'm going to allure you. and bring you into the wilderness and speak comfortably unto you. Verse 15.
And I will give her vineyards from thence, and the valley of Hechor, for a door of hope. And she shall sing there, as in the days of her youth, and as in the day when she came up out of the land of Egypt.
You see that? Same thing has happened again. Restoration. Second Exodus. Continue.
And it shall be at that day, saith Yahuwah, that thou shalt call me Ishi, and shall call me no more Baali.
All right. Ishi here means husband, and shall call me no more Baali. So, through the wilderness, when brought into the wilderness, the Most High is going to give us his name, his true name for those of us who don't have it, and take away all the names of Baal. Verse 17.
For I will take away the names of Baalim out of her mouth, and they shall no more be remembered by their name.
This is because the wicked enemy has polluted the names that are in the scriptures, and names that are coming all over are the different names of Baalim. And a lot of us don't know what names are the names of Baalim. Well, in the end, the Most High knows, and he's going to take it away from us. Verse 18.
And in that day will I make a covenant for them with the beast of the field, and with the fowls of heaven, and with the creeping things of the ground. And I will break the bow and the sword and the battle out of the earth, and will make them to lie down safely.
This is what I'm saying there. In that day, will I make a covenant for them with the beasts of the field. That means the beasts of the field will not harm them anymore. And with the creeping things, including the snakes, will not even touch the people. And I will break the bow and the sword and the battle out of the earth, and will make them to lie down safely. So this is when we're in the kingdom. Will lie down safely, and none shall make them afraid, because the whole world will be under the control of the Messiah, Yahusha. Verse 19.
And I will betroth thee unto me forever. Yea, I will betroth thee unto me in righteousness, and in judgment, and in loving kindness, and in mercies.
Continue.
I will even betroth thee unto me in faithfulness, and thou shalt know Yahuwah.
All right.
Okay.
No, let it, yeah. Yeah, that's good enough. Right, so let me give you another instance again. Isaiah 32, 13 to 20, before the wilderness, time of trouble. Isaiah 13, 32, 13. We need to have this in mind so we know. And we are not caught by surprise. Verse 13.
Up on the land of my people shall come up thorns and briars, yea, up on all the houses of joy in the joyous city.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is time of trouble before the wilderness. Verse 14.
Because the places shall be forsaken, the multitude of the city shall be left. The forts and towers shall be for dens forever. A joy of wild asses, a pasture of flocks.
Verse 15.
Until the Spirit be poured upon us from on high, and the wilderness be a fruitful field, and a fruitful field be counted for a forest.
You see that?
Yep.
So before the Spirit be poured upon us from on high, and the wilderness be a fruitful field. Where is it?
14.
Before that, the palaces shall be forsaken, the multitude of the city shall be left. You see this? Keep talking about the city.
Yep.
Yeah. Upon the land of my people shall come up thorns and briars, yea, upon all the houses of joy in the joyous city, New Jerusalem. Okay. All right, verse 16.
Then judgment shall dwell in the wilderness, and righteousness remain in the fruitful field.
Judgment shall dwell in the wilderness. Okay, verse 17.
And the work of righteousness shall be peace, and the effect of righteousness, quietness, and assurance forever.
Verse 18.
And my people shall dwell in a peaceable habitation, and in sure dwellings, and in quiet resting places.
All right, continue.
When it shall hail, coming down on the forest, and the city shall be low in a low place.
All right, so hear this now. When it shall hail. I don't know if we're going to have time to look at the precept for this. The hail, which is one of the plagues of Egypt, one of the plagues that is promised to the world in the end. All right. Okay. Verse 20.
Blessed are he that sow beside all waters, that send forth thither the feet of the ox and the ass.
All right, so that is before and after. Isaiah 35, 1 to 10. The ransomed shall return. Verse 1. This is after time of trouble. Go ahead.
The wilderness and the solitary place shall be glad for them, and the desert shall rejoice and blossom as the rose.
Yeah.
It shall blossom abundantly and rejoice, even with joy and singing. The splendor of Lebanon shall be given unto it, the excellency of Carmel and Sharon. They shall see the splendor of Yahuwah and the excellency of our Yahuwah.
All right, verse 3.
Verse 3. Strengthen he the weak hands and confirm the feeble knees.
All right. Why do you need to strengthen the weak hands?
We're going to plow, right?
Because it's not an easy road. It's going to be rough. Time of trouble before.
Yep.
Okay. So strengthen the weak hands and confirm the feeble knees. And this is matches up with what the Apostle Shaul says. Let me get it.
Yeah, and okay, so confirm the feeble knees and the weak hands. So at that point, there is no time or place for fear in this world anymore. Don't allow us to be trembling and fearing like, hey, we can't make it.
Yeah.
It's going to be rough, but it is doable.
This is, read from verse 11.
Verse 11. Now no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous, but grievous. Nevertheless, afterward it yieldeth the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby.
Verse 12 is a matching verse.
Wherefore lift up the hand which hung down, and the feeble knees.
Continue.
And make straight path for your feet, lest that which is lame be turned out of the way, but let it rather be healed.
All right, so we go back now to Isaiah 35:3. Strengthen ye the weak hands and confirm the feeble knees. Verse 4.
Say to them that are of a fearful heart, be strong, fear not. Behold, your Aluah will come with vengeance, even Aluah with a recompense. He will come and save you.
Now, you see that? During the time of trouble that you're going through, You have to be strong and not have fear. Many of us now are heeding the call to flee to the mountains. What we are doing when we get there, it's like a precursor to what is coming. And many of us will be going through hard times, tough times. And the most important thing is the transition from living in the comforts of this world to now living without all the comforts. Things that you would do in 2 minutes in this world. For example, some of us who have a microwave. It takes you a minute, 1 minute, and you heat up your food. Yeah? When you are in the wild, in the bushes, that may take you an hour struggling to get the fire together or more to get things going. So the comforts, yes, that you have in this world. Some of us have air conditioner, and heater, we can change the temperature to our suiting. When you go out in the wilderness, you cannot change anything. All the comfort's gone. Yeah? You have to make up your mind to be strong. All right? And it might reach to the point when you have to be hiding from these people. And these people are coming to get us. And imagine you being somewhere and then you're having to just hurry up and move in order to flee from these people. Be strong, fear not. Yahuwah will come with vengeance. He will come and save you. Yeah? Continue, bro.
Before we continue to the next one, for the females, they are well, what I'm seeing, they are kind of fortunate if they understand what is going on. More than us who don't have a clue to what it feels like. That which they go through having a baby, they feel that pain and anguish.
Yeah.
But in the end, they know that from that child is born, it's a relief. So if they get it, they will understand it. So us men just know that even if it is rough, what we believe that we can do is to set the standard to the point of death, saying to ourselves, even unto death. So whatever happened between the time of going through, we can make it, even unto death. If we have that mindset, we will push to the end. That is it.
Yep. Verse 5.
Then the eyes of the blind shall be opened, and the ears of the deaf shall be unstopped.
Continue.
Then shall the lame man leap as an hart, and the tongue of the dumb sing. For in the wilderness shall waters break out and stream in the desert.
In the wilderness shall waters break out and streams in the desert. I think that is speaking about physical and spiritually. The Ruach of the Most High is going to empower his people. Verse 7.
And the parched ground shall become a pool, and the thirsty land spring of water. In the habitation of dragons, where each lay, shall be grass with reeds and rushes.
You ever think about this, Brother Mahar? Relate this to our situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, might be going to places where you cannot actually pinpoint a source of water. There is nothing for the Most High to make springs of water come up there.
Right.
Yeah. And where the bushes are, it becomes grass with reeds and rushes.
Yep.
Verse 8.
Verse 8. And an highway shall be there, and a way, and it shall be called the way of holiness. The unclean shall not pass over it, but it shall be for those, the wayfaring men, though fools shall not err.
All right. So this is where it says, I shall bring them out of the land where they sojourn, but they shall not enter into the land of Yasharal. There shall be a highway, and it is called the way of holiness. So only the holy are going to be able to go through. The wilderness is a place where we are purged, we are taught the way of righteousness, we are brought onto a certain level where we can attain holiness in order to enter the kingdom. So it shall be for those, the wayfaring men, and fools shall not err therein. Verse 9.
No lion shall be there, nor any ravenous beast shall go up thereon. It shall not be found there, but the redeemed shall walk there.
All right, so protection for his people, for his righteous ones. Verse 10.
And the ransom of Yahuwah shall return and come to Zion with song and everlasting joy upon their head. They shall obtain joy and gladness, and sorrow and sighing shall flee away.
All right, so as we have always said before, the wilderness is a halfway house, a preparatory house before you get into the kingdom. It is where you are, it is like a training camp, as it were, to get into the kingdom. And those who fail in the camp cannot go through. And those who succeed, it's like when you go into the army. Yeah, when you go into the army and you train, you pass, then you are now a soldier. Same thing. Gonna be in training in the wilderness. Okay. So, time of trouble before. Jeremiah, how can we go through time of trouble before the wilderness and not look at the time of Jacob's trouble? Jeremiah 30, 3 to 11. Three to 11. Bam. Go, please.
For lo, the days come, saith Yahuwah, that I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel and Judah, saith Yahuwah, and I will cause them to return to the land that I gave to their fathers, and they shall possess it.
Verse 4. All right, before they return and possess it. Verse 4.
And these are the words that Yahuwah spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah. For thus saith Yahuwah, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Ask ye now, and see whether a man doeth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness.
That's it. That is the time of trouble before the wilderness, before we enter the kingdom. Verse 7.
Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it.
All right. This is what we want to get. He shall be saved out of it. Not a walk in the park. A lot of people talking about deliverance and want to be delivered. It's not a stroll in the park. You have to be prepared for roughness. Verse 8.
Before I go to verse 8, just want to reemphasize what I was saying earlier. And family, that is the reason why I'm saying, let us put death to that mark, even unto death. So let's say death would be the last. So whatever happened between now and to death, that means we should be able to overcome if death is the mark that we are looking on. So even unto death, we can do it. We just have to understand discipline. We can no longer be a part of this world system. If we take away ourselves and go to a place that will humble us, guess what? When we understand that it is not about us, we cannot do nothing good. It is just to obey the Most High and let His Spirit lead us into all righteousness. So the biggest thing is to obey, obey, obey. When we obey, we see action.
Verse 8.
Verse 8. For it shall come to pass in that day, saith Yahuwah of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck, and will burst thy bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him.
That's it. When he takes us into the wilderness, that's it. No one shall lead us anymore, because he will be the one who's leading us into the wilderness, and from the wilderness into the kingdom. Verse 9.
But they shall serve Yahuwah their Alua, and David their king, whom I will raise up unto them.
All right. You raise up David in the form of Yahusha Mashiach from the seed of David. Verse 10.
Therefore fear thou not, O my servant Jacob, saith Yahuwah, neither be dismayed, O Israel, for lo, I will save thee from afar, and thy seed from the land of their captivity. And Jacob shall return, and shall be in rest, and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid.
All right. Verse 11.
For I am with thee, saith Yahuwah, to save thee, though I make a full end of all nations, whither I have scattered thee. Yet will I not make a full end of thee, but I will correct thee in measure, and will not leave thee altogether unpunished.
Hear that?
Yep, not altogether unpunished.
Though I make a full end of all nations whither I have scattered thee,
Yep, full end.
yet will I not make a full end of thee, but I will correct thee in measure,
A lot.
and will not leave thee altogether unpunished. But yet still, after that, you are going to be delivered. That's it, the time of trouble before the wilderness.
Yes.
So, let me finish. Where are we now? 12:38. Should we? No, I don't think I should go any further. All right. We have to do a part 2, maybe a part 3, as we continue to look into prophecy. All right. Yeah. The other part is too much depth to go into. So I hardly started it, but time flies so quickly. Yeah. So today we looked at the testimony of Yahusha, which is the spirit of prophecy. We looked at the fact that if you do not have the testimony of Yahusha, you will not be preoccupied with prophecy. And if you are not preoccupied with prophecy, especially at a time when prophecy is manifesting itself, it means you don't have his spirit. And the word says, if you do not have the spirit of Yahusha, you are none of his. And if you are none of his, you are wasting your time in man's religion. And so we went and we looked at 2 Esdras 15, which gives us a summary of all the things that will be happening in the end time, all the things that we are to expect. And we see much of what he's saying is matching up with what is happening today, what is happening in this world today as we touch down into the time of the end. But for the sake of time, we will continue. Only hope that we manage to give you some insights into what is happening. We have coming up, we have to look at the wrath of Alua and the 7 plagues of Egypt that are coming upon this earth. We're looking at little Egypt. We're looking at the plagues that are promised, some of the plagues, the blasting and the hail, the woes unto the inhabitants of the earth. We're going to show from the 2nd seal to the 2 witnesses. Oh, Lord, we have left to show. We're going to look at the promise that few men will be left on the earth. We're going to look at trouble in the cities, flee to the mountains, kingdoms fighting against kingdoms, all other things that we haven't touched yet, but hopefully we can look at that the next time. All right. So for those who are on YouTube, thank you all for watching. Thank you for being with us today. This is Kazakh Aliyahu Yasharal, and this is Just a Word, and this is our weekly teaching. Please leave your comments. Please like if you like, share if you care, and subscribe if you have not, so you can receive notifications of our teachings. And you can touch that little bell there, that notification bell that will let you get notifications as to when we are on. All right. So thank you for watching. All right. And shalom, shalom, shalom.